Hope you guys did enjoy that video. If you guys can, please like and subscribe. That'd be very helpful. One thing I do want to mention is that I'm coming out with more builds. Sorry I haven't been able to post in a little bit because I've been working on stuff and getting stuff done for school and all that. But anyways, getting into it, this build is insane. I have seen some people start using it ever since I started. And personally, in my opinion, this is probably the best build you're going to be able to use against multiple players at once. Now, I definitely recommend using this only for DZ because it's harder for conflict unless you can get those kills in conflict. But it's so much easier to use it in DZ, and that's kind of where I oriented it towards, because I wanted to be able to kill NPCs and kill players after I got those stacks, and it just worked so well together. As you see, Firewall Specialist, because that's that med kit works so well. Definitely recommend the Firewall. Mp7, now the Mp7 is my most recommended gun that I could say. It's so underrated, and it has 950 RPM and almost perfect base damage. If they can buff this gun, it's just going to be OP. Honestly, it's already doing massive damage, but I would like to see a little bit extra buff on the Mp7. Now, as you can see, we're getting 5% every kill, so that 5% plus the killer is just insane. Obviously, you can get 25% max stack on it from the kills, but we're getting that plus killer, so it's really good to use killer, and that's why I recommend using the killer talent, because the killer talent is kind of working with the build. You can use in sync if you want to. I just recommend using killer because it's kind of almost an underrated talent to use. So I definitely recommend these two. If you want to use like Lady Death, the Backfire, any other SMG, go for it. Here are some SMGs I use. The Vector, on the other hand, doesn't work as well because obviously 6 blues and a Vector is not going to put out that much damage. So I definitely don't recommend the Vector, but if you like the Vector, go for it. It's just you're probably not going to be dropping people as fast unless you get all your stacks going, like max stacks and everything. But the Mp7 is probably my best recommended gun. If you want to use the Late Death, that's going to put out some damage for you. Obviously, the mass is blue, crit damage, and then crit damage again on top of that. And it's very well working. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that the 25% is going to be added towards the Perfect Intimidate, which I'm going to show you in a bit. But I just want to point out before I head on to that you're getting 15 and 10 from these 3 pieces, which is going to give you that 25%. And we're using Adrenaline Rush and Perfect Intimidate. Now, if you wanted to run not Perfect Grupo, Grupo with Armor and Intimidate, I don't know if it's going to do extra damage, but this is just way easier to put together. If you have one, I recommend trying it out and seeing which one hits harder. Let me know which one hits harder if you can. But one thing I do want to point out is that you're getting 40%, 25% from all the extra kills, so those 5 kills. So you're getting 65%, plus that 20% since they're within 15 meters of us, is going to give us 85%. 85% just from all that. And we're having blues. So it does so much damage. And we have all that armor with the armor on kill. Now, obviously, armor, crit damage. You'll see that my knee pads have armor and crit chance. You will need at least one piece with crit chance just so you can maintain high crit. Now, I will show you that the Mp7 has 57 crit chance and then low crit damage, but that crit damage is supported by so much extra weapon damage that's coming in from all the talents. Now, obviously, the Lady Death is going to be a little lower on the crit chance, but that's why you don't want it to remove that crit chance from the knee pads. If you want to get some extra crit, go for it, but you're probably not going to be critting as much. Now, going into the armor on kill, obviously it's 20%, and then health on kill is 100%, obviously, but the health on kill is so good. It saved me so many times. Now, moving on to the skills, we have the Striker Ballistic Shield, which is giving us that extra 12%. And then that's stacked on top of the 85%. So I think I think it's around 100%. I think 103 maybe. I'm not positive on that, but it's somewhere close to 100%. And obviously, it's so much damage. Now, moving on to the next skill, I do say that I have a lot more recommendations for other skills, and the Mp7 is going to be going well with these other skills, and using these other skills, it's going to help you fight people. Like, you see me using the shock trap, the riot foam, all that, but riot foam is definitely one that I recommend. Bleed Hive, if you're going for a sync, go for it. I do recommend it if you're going to go that way. Decoy, trap, anything like that. I don't recommend any of the other Hive suggestions. Striker drone, do recommend it. Just anything that can stagger and keep your opponents from killing you is what I recommend. So, explosive secure mine, foam, decoy, EMP pulse, trap, stuff like that. Probably not a sticky bomb because it takes too long on the cooldown. Stuff that's intermediate that will keep your opponents from doing that extra damage to you. And just overall, because this is a build that is for killing multiple players at once. So I recommend running the trap. It's going to keep opponents, even if it doesn't shock them, it's going to keep opponents away from you. And it's going to keep them out of that distance so you have time to pop med kits and stuff. And even if they do get shocked, well, they're dead, obviously. Decoy, obviously, a great choice to use as well because you're going to be hidden from those players. The shock trap I just told you about. The pulse EMP is also a good choice because you're EMPing those skills that are doing damage, because there's a lot of people who like to run Wicked or the status effect backpack Eclipse backpack, which actually needs to be reverted to the 4-piece, to work with the 4-piece, because I'm tired of fighting people with that and it's so cheesy. The foam is also a good choice because obviously the staggers are so good. The Stinger Hive, good choice. Defender drone, obviously another good choice. Everything is good as long as it has at least a 20 to 30 second cooldown, because obviously we're running all blues. We're not going to have that high skill haste. But those are the skills that I recommend. Hopefully you guys did accept the description, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.